let's see here. You know what we did? We didn't put is hold on. Okay, so I added that, and then get rid of this stuff here in the back. We're waiting for people. We're live, 37 seconds. If nobody shows up because it's the first time we've done this, then it's okay. You know what I mean?
That's all right.
Yep. I'm gonna start this, Jack. Okay, folks, this is Mary at Mary Unapologetic. Hey, hey, hey. And here is Jack, my co-host. Come on, Jack, introduce yourself.
Hey there, guys. I'm Jack Bucknell.
I think, you know what? I sent some kind of a announcement this morning, or was it yesterday? I wasn't sure anymore exactly. You know, as far as that, this is the first time we're going live. And the reason why I wanted to go live is because so I don't have to edit it. It takes a long time to edit something like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
it
I
does.
figured, hey, you know what? Let's take a shortcut. Let's do a live show and see
Sure.
what it feels like, right? And how are you doing today, Jack?
Fantastic. Really
Okay.
good. So, yep, good day.
Good.
Getting
Okay.
caught up on some stuff. So, yep.
Really? Oh, good for you. I did some phone calls earlier today, you know, quite a few people. I think I spent like 3 or 4 hours on the phone calling people, following up because some of the people that we've talked to at MTE, I told them, I promised them, hey, I'll give you a call once we, once me and Mike get back. And I did. So I'm caught up with a lot of stuff. And for those listeners out there who's probably wondering why I haven't released an episode for about what? It's almost like a month and a half, right?
It's been like what mid December I think was the last one, if I remember
Oh
right,
my
something like that.
gosh, so sorry.
Yeah.
You know why? Because life happens and I have to prioritize. What ended up happening is that let me just, give you guys a little story of why, we were doing a refi, and then we were trying to buy a land in Texas, and then we were trying to put together a digital retreat that didn't materialize because we were so busy. So we were rolling it over to our mega media. And then not only that, I was also dealing with some of the leftover works for our Black Friday, the one that we did for Den Trainer.
Yep.
And this is what I found out, in the midst of doing the, what do you call this, the refi. I found out that the bank added more stuff for us to do, and it makes it harder for us to get qualified just to finish the process from the beginning to the end. The underwriter was so picky; they were asking things like a balance sheet. We've talked about this on PDR 20. Remember, I told you
Yep.
the reports. Luckily, I have QuickBooks because they do accept the program. As far as if I were to print something out of QuickBooks, they will accept it. They wanted the balance sheet, they wanted the P&L, and I was like, what's going on? I mean, I've done refi before and they never wanted all these documents before. There's got to be something going on, and obviously my broker doesn't tell me right away what it is, so I have to ask the question. And she told me, she said, well, Mary, they're trying to find out or to make sure that even though we're business owners and even though we turn in our tax returns just to see if we qualify or not for a refi, or even like, getting a loan, they want to make sure that that thing is not falsified and that also COVID didn't affect our business. Have you ever heard of something like that?
Not to that level, no. And it's funny you say all that because I was literally looking at all those on my business today, just finalizing everything and getting everything all dialed in for the tax guy today. He reached out to me today, and oh man, yeah, I don't enjoy really all of that at all, to be honest with you. But you got to do it, so as a business owner.
Yeah, I don't enjoy it either, and Mike doesn't enjoy it as well. But it falls into my falls on my lap, to do. So I was like,
Yep.
oh, okay,
Yep.
because it's tedious work. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, all this bookkeeping and accounting and all that stuff. But yeah, so I was like, wow, it's an extra step now that we have to do on top of the tax return and other documents that they require us to provide in order for them to qualify us
Mm-hmm.
for either a refi or a loan. It's like now it's that much harder to get qualified. So I was like, huh. But anyways, moving on to more of a lighter note. MTE, the biggest mobile tech expo, excuse me,
Mm-hmm.
mobile tech expo in our industry. What do you think about it?
Oh, dude, it's fantastic. Fantastic show. I look forward to it every year. I was looking forward to it every twice a year, but apparently they're not having a Vegas one later this year. But I enjoy the hell out of it. It's like a recharge, a rebirth, or whatever you want to call it.
Uh-huh.
You get to go and hang out with everybody and, just nerd out about dent repair for the entire time. I mean, it's just nonstop fun and excitement and business and dents. So I love it. And good food.
What do you think? I think you were there last September, as well as I think the last time we had it in Florida was 2020, wasn't it?
Yeah, yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yep, because I was at that one, so.
Okay. So my thing is that what do you think is different from the 2020 MTE versus this year? That's like 2 years ago.
Man, I thought there was more people there. I've heard rumors that there was more people there, but it felt bigger to me. Obviously compared to Vegas, it's not even a comparison. It's way bigger than the Vegas show. But it was just an absolute fan. I don't know. I had a blast of a time. I don't know as far as comparing it one to the other. This show felt bigger, but we've also been out of the loop for over a year with the regular Orlando MTE. So, what did you think of it? What are your thoughts?
I actually like it because it feels like pre-COVID MTE.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
and even the vibe, like just seeing friends. Hey, Tim's on the.
Oh yeah, he's local to me.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, yep, yeah. He's about 45 minutes to an hour south of me in Sioux City, Iowa.
Oh, okay,
Yep,
good,
yep.
good. I love the guy. I mean, it's like I had a long conversation with him, and he's just down to earth. But anyways, I felt like it was pre-COVID, and the vibe was really good. People were like friendly and more inclusive. You know what I'm saying? And and it's all about, for me, I felt like it's all about like, hey, let's just have fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like no drama. It was like drama free. It's just like about just business and having fun, and that's what I
Yeah.
like. You know what I mean? It's especially the dinner. Okay, so that dinner we had, I didn't expect the bill to be that high. So I don't know who ordered the stuff, but regardless.
Right? Oh, there's two seafood towers. We better get them both and just compare. Yeah, so totally true. Yeah.
Well, I found out the seafood tower, it was two separate one, but it's actually one big tower. But that is pretty expensive. I don't think you looked at the price on that one, Jack. Because
Oh yeah, I did. I was just like, whatever.
oh, you did. Well, let me ask you: were you planning to pay for it? Because I was like,
No, not the whole. No. I figured we'd all split it like we did, so it was fine. Yeah. So right.
no, but it was like, you know what I did? I did like the Asian thing, which is the when you order and you go out with your friends, you just split it evenly, so that way it's fair for everyone. Crystal
Yeah.
is here. Hi, Crystal.
Hey, Crystal.
So yeah, because I don't want to do the finger pointing on who's what, and then the waiter, in the beginning I said, can we have separate checks? And then he said, no, this is just going to be one bill. And I was like, okay, but he was good and he was very firm. He's not like
Yes.
wishy-washy or anything. He took control of that table. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, he did. He was a fantastic guy. Yeah, I was very impressed.
Yeah.
And all the talking he had to do, like the presentation and stuff like that, like even like Danielle mentioned like you should be an actor, and he's like, well, actually, what was he, a sports announcer? I think is what
Yeah,
it
he's going
was.
to be a
Yeah,
Fox News, no, not news, sports announcer. He was
yeah,
studying for it. And I was like,
yep.
oh, well, then I better get your, your signature, your autograph, just in case one day you become famous. It's on
Yep,
my
yep.
receipt. Yeah.
Nice. Yep.
What made you decide to do something like that, Jack? The Charlie Steakhouse. You want to tell us?
So I'm a big foodie. I love especially steak. I love steak and seafood and all that kind of stuff. And the night before, a bunch of us were out at the Top Golf, and my buddy Dan Rikiki, he actually was at Charlie's, and he sent me a photo of the steak because he knows how much I like steak and stuff. And I was like, "Where are you at? Like, where? How do I get that? You know what I mean?" So because we'd all ate at the hotel, which was good. It was all really good food. But it's definitely a different level, in my opinion, going to a full-on steakhouse like that. And so I mentioned to him, hey, I want to get spots there. So I called up Charlie's the night before, what would have been Friday night, and was just like, hey, I need reservations for, like originally I said 9, but we ended up calling in for more of like 12 or 13. I don't remember what it was. It was a bunch, but they were like, yep, we can get you in tomorrow night at 8:30 for 9 originally. And I'm like, okay, absolutely. I don't think I'm going to have a problem inviting a handful of dent guys, families or whatever to the steak restaurant. So, and there was no shortage of, trying to get people to show up, come to it. So I was impressed. So it was a good time. So, yeah, I guess when I'm in that kind of, kind of place, like I'm always like, yeah, I want to go out and get the good food. Like me and Danny, we went over to the cigar bar. That was good. That was a good time as well. Unfortunately, I
Talking
didn't go the
about
other
Danny
time.
Espinal?
Yep,
You're talking
yep,
about,
yep.
okay.
Yep. So we ended up making it over to one of the cigar bars, and then him and Michael Glidewell went the next night. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it to that, but yeah, I'm just in for all of the experiences. Just bring them on. Yep. So.
Yep.
That's me.
Well, that's what we work hard for. You know what I mean? So when we go to this kind of event, we can just splurge and treat ourselves, right? I mean, I remember Crystal said, hey, was it Crystal? I think it was Crystal. She said she got 2 massages. And I was like, I was planning to get a massage too when we got there. But then, we just got so busy. We're being pulled right and left. And it was like, every hour there's somebody inviting us to do something, and I was like, oh man, I can't make time for a massage here. So but that's okay. Yeah, I enjoy Charlie as well as what it reminds me of. I don't know if you've ever heard of let's see here, Morton's. Have you ever heard of Morton's?
Morton's.
I don't know if there's Morton's in the Midwest or back east.
No, we have a Maury's. That's our high-end steakhouse here. We actually just went to it on Tuesday for my dad's birthday, so just was there. Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, here in California we have Morton's, and it's like a high-end steakhouse, and the setup and the process is the same as the Charlie's. And I don't remember. Yeah, they do have seafood too, but it's not as nice as Charlie's,
Okay.
Especially the seafood tower. By the way, I don't know if you've tasted the seafood. It was like nice and sweet, and it's like really fluffy. It's not like, you can tell it's fresh. You know what I mean? I know Daniel was like all over that seafood. And then I was like, how are you peeling this without the peeler? The lobster peeler. She was just doing it with my hand. I was like, oh my gosh.
Nice. Yep.
It was like a nice experience. We also got invited, by the way, to another dinner. David Charlotte invited us. It's called Coffee to go or something like that.
Yeah, I think, yep. I remember talking with him about it, and he said it was fantastic. That was where they had the entertainment and all that kind of stuff that he was showing me later that night. I ran into him, and he was showing me all this stuff, and it looked like they had a lot of fun over there, and it looked like the food was fantastic. No, I mean, with Charlotte, yeah, definitely always a guy going for the good food. I mean, if he's going somewhere, definitely make an effort to try to go with him. I agree. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, the food, besides the food being good, the entertainment was really good too. I didn't expect that there will be like Michael Jackson impersonator. He did a good job doing it.
Really?
A Michael Jackson impersonator, and then there was a belly dancer.
Yep.
The only difference is that I'm used to the belly dancer being like, like having the belly. This one is like she's kind of fit. She's got like a muscle right there. So I was like, oh, this is something new. Well, it's nice to look at her. You know what I mean? So I was like, oh, okay.
Oh,
And then there's also a flamenco dancer. That was fun
okay.
too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it felt like really it felt, especially watching the flamenco dancer, it felt like I was in Spain. I don't know if
Hmm.
you've ever been
Nope.
outside. You've never been
Not over
outside yet?
there. Well, I've been down to Mexico. That's it. So nope, I haven't been over to
Oh
Spain or
man, you got to
anything.
check out Spain.
All
You
right, you
know?
talked me into it.
Huh?
You talked me into it.
No. The first time we went was in Marbella. It was
Uh-huh.
actually south of Malaga. And
Hmm.
then we went to the second time we went there. We loved it so much. The people are so friendly, and the food are so good. And so we ended up the second time in Barcelona, and then we
Ooh.
also visited Madrid and Toledo because Mike's last name is Toledo.
Hmm.
So yeah, we ended up there. It's really nice. You should check it out one day.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's what it reminded me of, the little tapas that they have, as
Hmm.
well as entertainment. It was like nice and it's like it has a feel of a fresher breath air. You know what I mean? So,
Hmm. How
um,
long ago did you guys go over there? If I think I remember, I think I remember seeing social media stuff of that. But that wasn't like a long, long time ago, right?
it was, I believe, 2018.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say I didn't think it was that super long ago. So
No, it's not. It was,
cool.
yeah, it
Yep.
was 2018, or was it 2019? No, 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 it was 2018. We went there for
Okay.
Thanksgiving. So we
Oh,
figured we'll
nice.
do a destination Thanksgiving with some of my family members. So
Cool. Cool.
yeah. Um and then the story, I don't know. Did I tell you about the Waffle House story? No, I
Mm,
think I didn't tell you that. I mean, I was talking to a lot of people. That was so nice that a lot of people showed up and we were just catching up.
yep.
I I I can't believe I didn't tell you this. Mike, I think it was like the second night at MTE.
Was
Well,
that when you guys
the
went like
first
super late at night, like super late, right? I heard like a Waffle House, like a bunch of guys went to Waffle House. I didn't really catch exactly who all went, but
what happened was I think it was the second night or the third night. Mike was down there and I couldn't hang anymore. I went upstairs and then you know decided to go to bed. So
yeah.
I was like, wait a minute, it's 1 or 2 o'clock. How come he's not up yet? So I texted him. I'm like, where you at? And then there was nothing. Then finally, around I believe it was 3:30 or 4 o'clock. Somebody was FaceTiming me, and I was already in bed. I was like, he woke me up. I was like, oh, okay, it's my husband. So, and he was so drunk. He's all Mary, and he was FaceTiming me, and he's like showing me. He was showing his phone to PK, which is Paul
Uh
Cordon,
huh.
David
Yep.
Shalat, and also
Mm-hmm.
Chris. What was his last name? Chris. No, no, no. Michael.
Christopher
Michael. Michael Kreis.
Michael.
What was his last name? Michael
Uh,
Cryer or something like that. Mike.
okay. Yep. Oh,
Yeah,
Mike Kreiner.
Mike
Michael
Cryer. Okay,
Kreiner.
there you go.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And
He's a
I
cool
was like,
guy. Yep.
and then right away I was like, here, you're not gonna show my face. I have no makeup on, and you know what I'm saying. I said, look at the ceiling,
Yep.
and then
Yep.
and then he was like, I'm glad that he had fun because usually he doesn't go out and stay out that late. But he said, oh, we're so drunk. You're going to have to come pick us up. And no one can drive. I mean, stand by. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
stand by? I mean, so I was like, what? Let me just process this. And then I can tell that Paul, I call him Cordon, like sounds like
Yep.
French, Paul Cordon. There's a
Uh
ring
huh.
to it, Paul Cordon. So Paul just basically volunteered himself and said, Mary, go back to sleep. Don't worry. I'm not that drunk. We're going to get back to the hotel. No
Mm-hmm.
problem. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I'm going back to sleep. But
Yeah. Right.
that's usually Mike when he gets, when he
Yeah.
has too much to drink, he gets really kind of rowdy, and he's like, come and pick us up. You need to
Yeah.
save us. And I'm just like, yeah, okay.
All right. Talk to you later. Click.
So So Waffle House at 4, I think he didn't get back until like 4:30 or 5.
Sweet.
Then by that time, I'm like, great. In a couple of hours, we need to get up and be downstairs. So, but we started late. So,
Yep.
you know what's weird, Jack? I think everyone's having fun because there's certain people that I saw at PDR 20,
Mhm.
like well, I don't want to name, you know. I don't know, I don't want to name who they are, but certain people, or even the first night, but then towards the end of the week I didn't see them anymore. They just like disappeared. It's so
Yeah,
so
that's a good
there's
point. Yeah.
somewhere, I guess.
Yeah. You definitely saw everybody right away at the beginning of the week, but I think everybody kind of partied really hard at the beginning of the week and then just kind of tapered off. I know. Yeah. I could.
So I was like, oh, either they're playing golf or they're somewhere, and I was just like, where did they go? Oh, here's Dino. Okay.
Oh, we got Davo said, "Yo, what's up, Davo? Hey, Dino.
Hey, what's going on, Jack? How are you?
Good.
Good.
Oh, I like the background, Dino.
Yeah, that's my
Nice.
wife's background, you know. You got to make it work together, right?
No problem. We were just talking about MTE. We're still at that part.
Okay.
Luckily, you caught up. Okay. You know what I also like, Jack, at this MTE is like who was it? Who won that entertainment or entertainer for the Dent Olympics? The Golden
They were
Girl.
just they were just the Golden Girls. Yeah, they were just on the Ginger Bros podcast. I can't think of their now. It's yeah.
You can't
brain
think of their
fart,
names.
but they were just on the Ginger Bros Dent show last night. So
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I like the part that they all get dressed up now because it kind of like shows the personality of these people, like, you know, who's fun and who's not, who's uptight. You know what I mean? And I also like the Ginger Bros uh, costumes.
they were
Yeah, costumes.
fantastic, man.
It's just. There's Andy. Hi, Andy. It's just original. I'm like, wait a minute. That was my favorite characters when I used to watch.
Totally unexpected. Like
Yeah.
yeah, just wow.
Yeah.
Awesome job, guys.
Yeah, and the fact that even the makeup was so nice. It's almost like, you know, Hollywood quality, you know, makeup. I was like, how did they do
Even
that?
with the
That took a
with
lot
the
of
little
time.
patches of hair and the shirts. I mean, they had it completely dialed in. It was amazing.
Yeah. I almost kind of wonder how long it took them to get that done from the beginning to the, you know, to the end, like the process. Since Andy's here, maybe Andy can say something, you know.
Yeah,
He said, he's like, Andy, how long did it take you guys to get dressed up, you know, with the makeup and then the hairdo and saying an hour.
hour. Okay, yeah.
I guess. I mean, I
Well,
was
they had like a
3
a
hours.
makeup crew. It seemed like they had like what was it? John Yeager was helping them, and they mentioned it all in the
Two
podcast
girls.
last night. Yep.
2 girls. Yeah, he said it only took an hour. I was expecting like 3 hours because it looks like it's so, you know, involved. You know what I mean? Like to do. So
Yeah,
that-
Andy was saying he was saying and how happy he was that I think he said Amanda got the makeup and she made sure and got the wash off stuff. So it like I remember Andy saying last night that he basically just stepped in the shower and it all just ran off him, which is really good because you do not want to have you know, that yellow and orange paint just stained on your face for the rest of the time. I mean, not that it really would have mattered, but would have been funny. But
yeah, that was entertaining. And then the fact that I saw Brandon's like working his butt off because I can't say ASS. He's working his butt off, and then Andy was just like, this is fun.
it's so
He's
true.
like,
And, well, and even Andy mentioned that last night. He was like, "Man, I went out there just to have a good time," and Brandon's out there like going to town, like in, you know, what? Yeah, water-based paint. Wife, yeah, she found the good stuff. Yep. But yeah, Andy was definitely in like a chill mode of just like hanging out, doing it. You know, just there, but like there to have fun. And you could tell Brandon was definitely, you know, a little
Serious.
more
He's like, he's
serious
very
about it, which
competitive and serious. He's like, I better win this, damn it.
that's fun. There's nothing wrong with that either, though. You know,
Yeah,
so
yeah, there's
yep.
nothing wrong with that, but it's just the dynamic of the duo, it's like fun because I'm like, wait a minute, I see this guy's working his butt off, and then this one's like just basically that was the funniest thing. Oh my
Yep.
gosh. Although I think the Ginger Bros should have won. They should have a ranking, like first place, second place, and third place. What do you think on the entertainment?
I agree. Yeah. Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
for
Yep.
for the costumes, because so that way it will invite more people to really get dressed up, right? When they get like trophies too.
Oh, it'll be interesting what ends up happening next year. I know me and TC I'm planning on going again, and I'm gonna be up in the bar. I don't know about like whole Bert and Ernie style, but I mean I'll definitely be up in the bar with the outfits. That's for sure. So.
Hey Corey's here. Let's see here. Hold on. I'm trying to read some more of comments here. Those dents didn't pay enough.
Yeah, was it me, or did those dents look deeper than last
They were
year?
pretty deep. The box side dents were really nasty. The rail dent, I don't know. Honestly, I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but the box side dent, man, oof, that was deep.
Yeah, I saw some of Mike's videos, and he was focusing in on the dents, and I'm like, whoa, those are deep.
Yeah. When you step back and really got it in the light and got to see the total deflection, like
right. And he says deep AF.
yeah, right. And then you're trying to fix that deep of a dent in that time frame, and then with no heat. I mean,
right.
Yep.
Oh, you can't use heat?
No
No.
heat. No heat. So that's the problem.
Wow.
That's where you run into the problems with that deep of a dent. You're trying to, typically a lot of us, I feel, would put a bunch of heat on it, get a
Right.
big old blunt tip and just muscle it out and then fine tune it out and get sharper tips. But there you
Right,
can't. So,
Wow, I did not know that.
yeah.
Wow.
Did they tell you the rules, Jack? Like, or did you already ask? Can we use the
Well, I had done the original tag team in Vegas the first time, so
Okay.
like it was all the same stuff. Like, try to get your tools set up beforehand if you can, which we were terrible at. And then no heat, obviously, no wet sanding. You can do. I think they'll allow you to do like some hand buffing with like a towel on your hand if you need to, just to get any kind of little bars out. But that's it. So I mean, you get what you get. So. Yeah, it's basically, I think about the same thing as the regular dental Olympics. It's just, it's just two people and you got to tag in. It's only one guy working at a time, so.
So on a scale to 1 to 10, Jack, what would you give yourself? What would you rate yourself?
As far as
After
on the
you got done.
competition.
No, were you in the competition or no?
Yeah, yep, I was. Yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
So when you got done, what would you rank yourself? 1 to 10 of how you did.
Well, we had a catastrophic failure of paint cracking on the bedside, so the rail dent turned out really, really nice. So, I would say 100% retail. I mean, it was retail. Now, a dent guy with a light, like, really nitpicking it. I mean,
Right.
for a competition, I would have said 95, 98%, I'd say.
Oh, okay.
But
That's
I
pretty
mean, but for a dent guy, I mean. Again, just
Yeah, you know how we are.
Yeah.
We're hard on ourselves. So
yeah. I mean, to where I took the light off and I'm looking at, and I have video of it without a light after the fact with my camera, and I'm trying to pick up details. I couldn't see anything. Like,
okay,
granted,
good,
that's without
nice.
a light, but I mean, yeah. So, yep.
So some of the stuff that they were talking about, you guys just run out of time,
Yes.
But
Yep,
I
yep.
noticed I always have a problem like pronouncing his name, Jean, right? Jean.
Yep.
Jean always
yeah.
finished. I didn't know.
He finished 15 minutes early.
Exactly.
Did you hear about that?
Yes, I was there when he was finished. No, that's why because like when I think he won 2 times in a row in as a first place winner. Okay, so I was like, okay, I don't really watch him in action, but this year I happened to see the Irina, the wife, and then I stood there with her, and he was just like finished already, and so he was taking his time, just cleaning it up. Then he's analyzing it, moving his lights. I'm like, he's done, huh? Yeah, he had 15 minutes to kill, and then he went to see
Wow.
Bryce, and then I was like, no wonder he's always in first place, because he took it out like what, in 30 minutes? I mean, how
Yeah,
many
yeah,
minutes?
yeah. It's 45 minutes total. So yeah, in 30 minutes he got that dent out. And I remember I think I saw a picture on Facebook or something popped up of like, hey, the champion got done so soon he had time to crack a beer. So it's like a picture of him holding and drinking a beer while standing next to his dent, just like hanging out. Like,
Wow.
like most guys are struggling and not finishing the dent, and he's finishing it early and then just like hanging out and having a beer. Like, no big deal,
Wow.
whatever. Like,
I can
wild.
picture, I was trying to picture, myself if I was, if I were in your shoes, guys. I mean, the last 15 minutes probably like very, very stressful, especially when you're not gonna finish it, right?
Yeah.
Well, this guy is just like taking his time, like trying to kill time basically because he's done early. So I was
Yeah.
like, how did he do that? And then I think even with Bryce, he went on the other side just to check out Bryce. Maybe he needs help. I don't know, but I don't know how he did that.
He went to go wander around, just check out whatever everybody else is doing. Hey, what tool are you using? Oh no, I'm
Right,
done. I
right.
don't need to actually know. I just want to know. Like,
That was insane, and it was clean because I was looking at his dent. I was like, wow, he really, really cleaned it up.
They're gonna have to make some new rules for him, especially.
unfortunately, I didn't even get to see the finished results. I would have loved to. I for some reason didn't even look into it. But I would have loved to seen his dent. I did get to see if I got told anyways that it was the box side dent, because those guys, him and Bryce Kelly tag teamed and won that too.
Wow.
I did get to see the box side dent on it without a light, and I was just
Amazing.
holy cow, dude, amazed. Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Trying to find something and can't find nothing.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
But that's how you win. I mean, that's why you.
Yeah.
That's how you win, because you finished it and there's nothing there. I
Yeah,
mean,
yep.
to describe it, it's actually, you guys have seen Mike's video, before and after. So his work after he was done, it's like the after picture or after, video of Mike's work. Because I couldn't see any more dings or, even a shadow of it from a distance. It was like clean. I was like,
Yeah.
wow, no wonder he's really good. He actually reminded me of, maybe, I hope nobody will get mad, but it's a compliment. He actually
Very
reminded me of-
unapologetic.
he kind of reminded me of the Tom Brady of the Dent Olympics, because I mean, to win it more than once, he won it twice and then 3 times. That says a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He's very, very disciplined.
Yeah.
That's what I would describe it. Very
Well, I would-
disciplined and very composed.
Well, I was fortunate enough a few years back. Dave Streen and Jean put on the Den Olympics training seminar, and there was a handful of us in that. And getting to see him fix a dent, talk about everything that he did. I mean, he's got it down to where he's got a certain playlist that he's listening to, so he knows without looking at the time how much time he has left. Like,
What?
oh, I've got, yeah, right, yeah. He's like, I've got, X amount. I'm on this song. I've got 2 more songs, and it's probably about this amount of, that's how dialed in he is when he's doing
That's
it.
how, oh my
Whole
God.
other level, whole Tom Brady
That's a
level. I
whole
mean,
that's a whole different animal. So basically, so that tells me he practiced then, because when
He
you
does,
practice,
yes.
where you at in the where you are at in the music or your playlist. So that's
he said that he practices. I mean, if I remember
Yeah.
right, I believe he had one of the actual guns that they use and was denting cars and fixing
Okay.
them. So I mean,
Okay.
when you practice, I mean, I'm not taking anything away from it.
No,
Nothing
no,
away from it
yeah.
at all.
Right,
but,
right.
I mean, but that's just goes to show you. I mean, when you practice and you put in Tom Brady level
He said the
dedication
GOAT.
Yeah.
or
And he said the
Jean
GOAT.
level dedication.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, the GOAT. Yes.
The
The
goat.
GOAT.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah. the
'cause
goat.
most people don't practice though. It's like they just go and try it just to see
No.
Yeah.
No. Well,
what
yeah.
happens.
Well, that kind of makes me wonder, do you think you guys are now going to practice? Just to see if you do practice where you're where your
Well,
potential is.
So in the training course that I took at the beginning of the Dent Olympics training course, we fixed a dent how we would without nothing. Like they just left it like just go in, fix the dent however you would, and then take the training course, and then at the end we're gonna do it again. I couldn't believe the amount of difference that I saw in a one day, beginning of the day to the end of the day, how big of a difference I was in fixing that dent just from
Wow.
taking that course. My,
Really?
and I fix dents all the time, like whatever, it's not a big deal. But wow, I could not believe to be able to see it like boom, boom. I mean, it was the same car still. So you're fixing the same car, probably another panel or few dents back or whatever like that, and being able to see the before and after of before the course, after the course. I mean, it was mind blowing. So
So hold on. Time out. You said there's a course or a practice course that you guys do. Did everyone do that or no?
no. So was that in 2020? I'm trying to think of when that was. It's either 19 or 20, but it was at TDN when they had the last PDR College podcast. I think was the year that it was, if I remember right. But they had it at TDN, and we did it there. It was only God, there wasn't that many people, and it was really, really, really small, which was fine because you got a lot of one-on-one.
Yeah, a lot
That's
more
with the
attention.
master,
that's what you want.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I didn't have any complaints on it, but it was a really good experience. And actually, I videoed like I think the entire day. I have footage of the entire course that I recorded it all, and then I know I sent it over to Dave, and he was I think marketing it or something like that with it. But it was a very, very good experience to be able to see what he does, and that's where I learned about the music thing. Obviously, I was like, what, like music? But like that's how you get to that level. You think about stuff that's outside of the box, because the last thing you want to do is we stop in every couple of minutes looking at your watch or where's the clock at or where's my phone at so I can see the time. Like no, you don't take any of that time. Like it doesn't matter. Like,
I never thought of it that way. That is genius, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it
never
is.
thought of
Gotta
it
keep
that
track.
way. Yeah. Well, and Andy Patrick said, I don't practice.
He said, I didn't practice.
Yeah, right. Hell to the nah.
I think the whole thing is like, have fun, right? But yeah, but to some people, they're really competitive, like my son. If he's competing and somebody like, let's say somebody like challenge him, then he'll be like, yeah, I'm going to kill you in the water, in the pool. But if nobody challenge him, he'll just take his time. Like, like he's not going to race and he's not going to try his best. That's why I said, how come you're not consistent? Sometimes you're really fast and sometimes you're not. But this is what I'm talking about before, Dino, like the motivation, what do you think will motivate a certain person? So with my kid, I talk to them in a certain way, depending on the situation, to motivate them. Like when I used to go to his event, I used to say, hey, this is what you're going to do. Guess what? Because this person is doing good, you need to show him. You need to show him and represent, So, but now that he's driving and he's on his own, I don't go to his competition, very rare now. So it's like, I'm just like guessing, hey, did you do good?
He probably feels less pressure too, though. By you not being there, Mary, because he knows you're gonna be on him.
I know, right? Actually, Mike in the beginning said, "You know what? You're like this tiger mom." I'm like, "No, I'm not." He said he wants to go to the Olympics. So if he wants to go to the Olympic, then we need to be committed. I got committed to it. He got committed to it. I gave him the tools to be successful. You got to use it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Up to him now.
Yeah. So that's what happened. And then it's funny because Mike, once in a while, he tells it to our friends. He's like, because people would be commenting, like when they see me, when I used to video it too. And then they see me because I'll post it on social media. They're like, oh, there's, Coach Toledo trying to coach Avon. And then my husband would like chime in, oh yeah, Mary doesn't know how to swim.
Wow.
I mean, he's really coaching without knowing how to swim.
Right.
But the thing is,
that's funny you say that, Mary, because when I was younger in high school, we used to play basketball, baseball, and all that stuff. And my friends always used to call me coach because I was coaching in the middle of while we're playing. and it's like I would get on their nerves. And I'm like, now I see myself, I'm like, yeah, I think I was doing too much. But hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And I think you got that fire in you too, where you want to see people do good and you want to see the best out of everyone.
Yeah, I do.
We
Yeah,
see the
'cause when
potential, you
yeah,
hope that
yeah,
they can do better.
you're right about that, Jack. I saw the potential in Avon, and even the coach saw the potential in Avon, so they took a chance. And I think a year or 2 years that we switched team, the new team, like the coach already invited him to compete in a higher level, and I was like, first of all, we're not physically in shape. I mean, I had to talk with my son. You got to start eating healthy now because now you're doing this. And then, secondly, I was like, I didn't know what to expect. It was like actually, it was an Arizona meet. For the first time we were there, I saw the kids his age. They look like Michael Phelps. They have like 6 pack or 8 packs,
Yeah.
and I was like, wow, how are we gonna measure up with these people? I'm pretty sure they're faster than us. But it was the beginning, that motivated him to like, okay, I gotta eat healthier, I gotta work out and all that stuff. And
Yeah.
because normally kids doesn't listen to their mom, so that kind of opened up his eyes.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
It's interesting, but for me too, I'm like, I think maybe I'm somewhat competitive. And when
Yeah,
I
I
was
think you are, Mary. Yeah.
I think so too.
when it comes to
I see that
sports,
fire in you.
when it comes to sports, yeah, as well as I used to watch the Olympics every year when I was a kid, like
Mm.
figure skating, the Summer Olympic. So yeah, so that's like, it's my hobby to watch athletes.
The
So
best of the best.
exactly, right, exactly. Okay, so how are you, Dino? What's up
I'm
with
doing
you?
wonderful. Thank you. Everything is wonderful. Everything's great. Loving life. Out here
Uh
doing
huh.
dance.
Oh,
You know.
good. Are
But
you
I
staying
didn't make
busy?
it out to MTE this year though.
Uh huh.
So I kind of wanted to catch and see what I missed or what it was like compared to the last few years. Uh, was it the same? Was it better, or what? What do you guys
I'm
think?
I'm gonna let Jack start. Go
I thought
ahead,
it was
Jack.
better. I thought it was better.
Mm-hmm.
It just everybody was just so. It was like a breath of fresh relief. I mean, I don't. There's so many different words. We've already talked about. I'm probably using the same words Mary said, but I mean, because we were just both at the Vegas show,
Mm-hmm.
and that was a good like. Oh right, finally stuff's we're getting back into the MTE thing, and then it was like the floodgates opened at this one. Like holy
Mm-hmm.
cow, dude! Like
Mm.
getting to see everybody. It was just like I've been to quite a few MTEs now, and they was always awesome. But this one was just maybe it was just because we didn't have one last year or whatnot,
Yeah.
and then everything else that's happened in the world and since then, like it was
Mhm.
just like woo, like party on, let's do this. You know what I mean? It was just a huge relief and so much. I don't know. Katie, I'm at a loss for words. It was just a fantastic time. I loved
Yeah.
it. I
Yeah.
love
Definitely
those
gonna make it out
events.
next year. Definitely gonna go
Yeah.
next year. Yeah.
Yeah. This year, there's a lot of people came compared to the Las Vegas one, so I think
Oh
that's
yeah.
why it's more fun because
Hmm.
the people that didn't go to the Las Vegas one last year, they said, "Oh, I'm waiting for this year's MTE," and so they all came, and I guess there's more tools, new tools that showed up too.
Hmm.
Mike bought. He probably talked about it. I didn't watch his podcast yesterday because I was busy, but he probably talked about it because I saw him bring it in the house. The needle from Stanliner.
Yeah, I
Oh,
saw that.
I saw
He
the
sold the
tool.
needle.
Yeah,
It looks like a
yep.
sewing needles. Yeah,
Yeah, I saw
and
it on one of his videos, and I'm like, "What the heck is that?"
I
So
know.
I knew exactly what you were talking about because I was like, "Oh, that makes
Right.
sense. That's the tool she's talking about." So
Yeah, yeah. As a matter of fact, when he was picking it out and when he was buying it, I was there with him, and then I saw him and Derek Kessler. I don't. Do you know the Kesslers, Derek?
No.
No. Okay, maybe you might see him from one of Mike's video if
Okay.
if you watch the previous videos that
Hmm.
we did at MTE. So Mike originally was gonna demonstrate it, like kind of just like have a feel how it works. So he said, "Mary, here, hold the camera. I'm like, huh? I'm holding the phone. Okay. So he's starting to work on it. And then he said, oh, I like how this thing works. And I said, yeah. I was like, I don't even do dance, huh? Yeah. But I can see, why he would like it. Then the next thing,
Right.
he's like, okay, Derek, come over here. I'm going to video you and you show us how to do this. And Derek showed us too how to do
And that's a
the
stain liner tool?
stand liner tools. It's a new
Yeah.
one. It looks like a needle. It looks like a diamond.
Okay.
And it's kind
No,
of
I
holding the
saw. I just
needle.
wanted to make sure that they were the ones that made it.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it was nice because he was rolling it too. He was using it as
Okay.
rolling but rather than just pushing too. So he knows how to use it. So I was like, oh, okay. And within like, I don't know, less than 5 minutes, the small thing was out.
Yeah.
I was like, oh. So when I see dents disappear, I'm like, oh. To me, it's like less than like 5-10 minutes, money.
I know
You
you
know what I
wouldn't
mean?
think that new tools could constantly be, just done better and better every year. It's crazy how people are coming up with
It
these
is.
ideas, and
Yeah.
yeah, I know
But it just
stain
goes to
liner
show you
stuff
have
is,
an open mind. Yeah.
yeah, yep.
Sorry.
And
Yeah.
no,
Well,
it's just go ahead,
oh, go
Mary.
ahead,
No, I was just gonna say I totally agree with you. Just how it's evolving and becoming bigger, even from when I first went. When PDR College was there, and Bryce Kelly was doing fixing a dent on the Ford Explorer on the bottom, and just listening to
Oh.
Shane Jacks and Keith Cosentino, and I mean it for me because I was new. That was so exciting, and it's like I was so starstruck because you see them on video. They're Mike's Mike Toledo. All these different people, and then when you see them, you're like, oh, and
Yep.
and then as you start to grow, you start to evolve, and you're like, man, they just fixed dents, just like me.
Yep.
But they
do you,
paved the way, though. They paved the
uh-huh.
way for
Yep.
new people to come into the industry and feed their families and create an awesome living. And it's
Hmm.
like people with good character. You're around those people, and because it's not just about fixing dents, but it's about the type of character that people have and who you're networking with. And I mean, people were just so friendly. I mean, they didn't mind sharing info with you or talking to you. It's like my perception was when I first got there, I'm like, oh my God, ain't nobody gonna talk to me, nobody's gonna say nothing. It was total opposite. Like Jack said, every networking, and people were so friendly. It was awesome.
Hmm.
Definitely gonna go back next year.
Yeah, definitely you need to come and see what it's
Yeah,
like again.
mix
I
and
can't
mingle.
wait.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
it's a whole yeah, it's just I can't even it's an awesome
I know
experience.
Jack is
when
just
I
like,
had went there, I had went to the PDR college class and course, so I really didn't make it to the education classes. But I know Mary, you're doing education classes now and stuff. So I mean, that's pretty
we're
cool.
doing, yeah. So speaking of that, there's new information for our Mega Media 5.0, and it's going to be at
Sweet.
Anson. Obviously, Mike had put out some kind of a promotional ad already. I
Hmm.
actually already, locked in some reasonable. I call it reasonable because I don't like to say cheap. I mean, the younger
Hmm.
generation doesn't like to say cheap. Reasonable price. So instead of 149, it's going to be 112. So it's gonna be the Hampt. I have a note here, by the way. So it's gonna be Hampton Inn and Suites at Fort Worth, Burleson. It's close to Anson Shop.
Hmm.
Okay.
So I'm also gonna put it out there after tonight, so that way you guys will know where to go and stay. But here's the thing: this is the most important thing. There's, I actually asked them to block from 427, which is April 27th to April 30th. So people probably going to check out on April 30th, right? But here's the
Mm-hmm.
important information that people need to know. There is a cutoff date, and the cutoff date is March 29. So if you don't book before March 29, then the rate will go up to 147, varying all the way to 174. And
And
there's
that's a
no,
is that a 3 day event,
it's
or is it
it's
or is it 2 day,
it's
1 day,
it's
2 day?
it's
Okay,
it's actually for us, for Mega Media, it's a 2-day event, but
okay,
Anson will also have the open house on the Saturday.
Okay.
So we're done 28 and 29, but Anson PDR will have an open house on 4/30th, and that's a Saturday. And then I think before our mega media event, anyone who wants to sign up for IMI, that's going to be on 4/27, which
Mm.
is a Wednesday.
Yep.
I think I
You've
might
seen
do
the
that.
IMI before, right? Didn't you sign up for IMI?
Who?
Do you know
I have.
No. I
you?
haven't done it yet. I actually powered down a Tesla on my own, looking at it through YouTube. So,
Ooh.
I mean, yeah, it was kind of a little bit scary. So, but I do want to get certified just so I'm able to put it on my website and look more professional, and draw more
Uh,
Tesla customers to the website, of course. So, yeah, I definitely want to have that certification.
yeah, I'm getting carried away reading this stuff. Jack, somebody's asking you.
Jack Mugga was your twin.
Who
Francisco.
is your twin?
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
don't
I
know your
saw that
twin.
picture.
yeah, dude, isn't that wild, dude?
That
Like,
was your
so John
doppelganger, man.
John Badine saw him, and he came over to me and mentioned something like, "Dude, I saw your twin," and I'm like, "Yeah, get out of here, whatever." And he calls me a little bit later. I'm over at the Kiko booth talking with Gene, and we're going through a little glue pull demonstration and stuff like that. And he goes, "Where are you?" And I'm like, "Kiko booth." And he's like, "Stay right there, don't move." And I'm like, "Okay, it's kind of odd, but whatever." And he comes running over with this
Oh, maybe I'll
dude
see you,
that
Dave.
looks just like me, and I'm like, "You got to be kidding me!" I feel stupid. I can't remember his name is something like.
Is it Dan? Here.
No. It started
No?
with a J. It was so it was even more fun. It was something like I don't think it wasn't Jacques, but John or something, something like kind of in the vicinity of like a J
Okay.
name. So it was like more like even funnier. He was from France actually.
Oh, really?
So
Mm.
yep. So
That
Okay, good.
doppelganger.
Yeah.
yep, 100%.
Okay, good. Dave said that he's going to be there for the IMI class. Okay. What else is new for the Mega Media? Well, the fact that we're going to actually be, maybe to some people, because I heard one person's comment, maybe to some people it's going to be too much as far as education. But
Nah.
really, the way this education would help you guys as business owners is like to kind of point you in the right direction. Like, for example, how many people, I know a lot of people in our industry, or most, doesn't like to do social media, right?
Yeah, that's a
Correct?
lot of work.
Yeah, it's a
90,
lot of work.
99% of the people.
Yes, it's a lot of work because I've heard it, right? This is their
Yeah.
gripe about it. I
Yep.
think also that's why I'm going to talk about the social media landscape, because if you don't know how it works, then it's almost like you're guessing. And when you're guessing, you're kind of wondering, well, I don't know what's going to work or what's not. I tried this before, it didn't
Mhm.
work. Well, I'm just going to try this one again, hoping it's going to work. Well, but if you understand the landscape of what would work and where to go, or where you need your focus, to focus on as far as your social media marketing, then it would be easier, right? And then you
Yeah.
might have a love of it after you've done a couple of it and realize, you know what, I
Mhm.
feel like I'm in the right direction,
Yeah.
because now I'm seeing the result. When you see the result, then it makes you feel good, you know what I mean? And then it motivates you,
Yeah.
correct?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yes.
so I'm gonna talk about that because I know Crystal had a question about, well, should I post, or when you do the hashtag, should I pick the one with the big numbers or smaller numbers? In the beginning, I was like that too. I was like, oh, I think I'm gonna pick the bigger numbers, because people are gonna see it more. But then it's actually opposite. You
Gets
want to pick the,
lost.
Mhm.
yeah, it's gonna be lost in like 2 or 3 million or maybe 30 million people that are in that hashtag. That's why you want to pick the smaller number. So,
Or
I,
even me personally, I like to do local stuff like local dent repair or dent repair
mhm.
near me, or Merleville dent repair, Munster dent repair. Just kind of keep it local, as much as I
Yep.
can. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay, so and then another thing also that I wanted to point out is that we're gonna have. I talked to Mike about it, that if we're gonna have guest lineup, then the people that I'm actually gonna invite are gonna be an expert in their field, or
Hmm.
in the topic that they're gonna talk about. Because
Right.
I think what I want to see is really some substance of information that will be you know spread around there, rather than like, oh, I heard it from someone that
Hmm.
said this, or and then I don't want the I can't pronounce this, regurgitated
Regurgitated.
information. Yeah,
Hmm.
I want something that's actually more to the point. So I have one person that I have invited already, and I have another one that I'm thinking of inviting. But yeah, I would like someone to be speaking for our event. I mean, in our event, that actually is an expert in what they're going to talk about. So that way,
Right.
the credential is there, right? So
Hmm.
it's not just like, oh, I heard it from Dino that this is what it is, but
Right.
just going around, beating around the bush, and there's no direction to go. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Hmm.
yeah, um, I think in the past you said that it helped you. Can you tell us really? Because I remember, were you on our first Mega Media or the second?
Yeah, I believe it's the second one, the one where
Okay.
we took pictures with the Lamborghini
Oh,
and
that's the
the
first one.
yeah. Okay, yeah, yeah, and that was
So
the
that's
first
the
one, and you
first
had
one.
tacos, and we were cooking out
Yes.
outside, and yeah, I took a
Yes.
whole bunch of pictures with Mike and just everybody. It was an awesome event. But for me, this is me.
Hmm.
When I see Mike Toledo's type of social media content, he's like on another level compared to everybody
Hmm.
else, and
Hmm.
that's what I look to. That's what I want to emulate. That's what I want to be like, because it's so clean. It looks
Hmm.
professional. It's like I mean, the amount of people that just because I never worked on a Lamborghini, right? But the
Hmm.
perception was that I worked on a Lamborghini, and I don't know how many people on my website were like, "Man, you worked on a Lamborghini? Wow, that was awesome!" But so that enticed them, to have more trust in me. Which, I mean, of course, you still have to deliver, which I did, and I was. But just that very notion of that marketing aspect of it, where you are, showing people that you're working on higher end vehicles, or it's not just about big smashes and dents, but even the type of vehicles that you're working on,
Hmm.
that gives a perception. Yeah.
Hmm.
And then
Yeah.
something else I learned too was the texting, having stuff already planned out, already have stuff already, and you just
Hmm.
boom, boom, share. That's it. You know what I mean? Because most of us, I mean, honestly, we're one man bands. We're trying to grow into something else, and it's
Hmm.
hard for us to let go and have someone else do things. But I actually fixed a Tesla for this guy in Joliet in Illinois, and he actually wrote a book. And he was a marketer, and he started telling me uh, that I should. I mean, he like blew my mind away, and I know I didn't quite understand it, but he's like, Dino, you should not be fixing dents, and I'm like, what? And he's like, you should subcontract all the dents to everyone across the United States, and and like make 100 here, 100 there, and I know I'm telling this, but and I know some people are already doing it, but when he told me that like blew my mind, as far as he was telling me, yeah, you just market yourself and you do, and I'm just like, oh my god, that's a whole nother level that I'm not even there yet, but he dropped that seed in me. But marketing is important though, big time. Yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned something about Dino about the Lamborghini.
Yeah.
The whole idea with that Mega Media, the first one, and also the taco thing was,
Hmm.
we
The
we
taco
we,
thing.
we yeah we well, first, we're known for having good tacos in
Yeah,
Southern
they were good.
California because we're
Yeah.
Hell
close to the
yeah.
border. you know
Hmm.
I mean, and the taco, or the Mexican food here is totally different than in Texas or New Mexico. I don't
Hmm.
know if you guys know that, but I'm just letting you know, because that's
Just have
what
to come
people have
out there and
also
try
said.
it.
Huh?
Just have to come out there and try it. I'd talk you
Yes,
into it. Go ahead.
yes. Well, eventually in the future we'll bring back, Mega Media here in the future. But
Hmm.
anyways, yeah. So it's totally different. And then also the whole thing, or the whole reasoning behind the high end cars, to bring the high end cars. We actually used to service Symbolic Motors. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Symbolic Motors.
No.
They only have Lamborghini, McLaren,
Hmm.
Bentley,
Hmm.
all these high end cars, and
Yeah,
their
we don't even
client.
have those here. We don't even
Right.
have those dealers here.
Right.
I mean, I've never worked on a Lamborghini. I've worked on one Ferrari,
Mhm.
and that's it. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
like we don't have a Porsche dealership. We don't
Mhm.
have what's the highest? We don't have Tesla. Like, I think the highest end here is probably like an Audi, maybe like
But
Mercedes and
you know
stuff.
what I
But
did, Jack? I went to a because and I don't know what area you're at but
South Dakota.
oh, okay. So I went to small dealership, right? Just
Hmm.
your
Hmm.
and but they sell luxury vehicles, and I took a whole bunch of pictures, with the different, the Jaguar,
Oh yeah.
so I used their vehicles, to like I said, give that perception, So there's no small dealerships out there that are selling like luxury vehicles, higher end vehicles.
Well, we've got bigger, but it's like it's Mercedes, Cadillac,
Yeah.
and then we've got an Audi store. But like that's
Okay.
it. Like I said,
That's
man,
it.
yeah, that's it. Like
Oh,
we don't have like Tesla. We don't even have a Lexus dealership here. We
Wow.
don't have
oh.
Lexus. So like if you need
Okay.
Lexus service, you got to take it to Lexus technically in Omaha or the city's
Wow.
Minneapolis.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think I think it has something to do with no, not demographic, geographic. The only reason,
Mhm.
and also the demographic, because if when I traveled to Colorado and also to Texas, a lot of people are driving a lot of people have trucks, right? But
Yep.
when you go to a big city, it's more like, especially we're close to LA. We're 2 hours south of LA. So basically, people here, they roll with the finest, most expensive cars because they want to show it off, so they take care of it, right? And the fact that they have money, but here's the thing, that's a whole different conversation, whole different culture. The people with money, you know what I mean, they have
Hmm.
people taking care of their cars, they don't do it themselves.
Mhm.
So it's
Right.
almost like they have a manager just managing their cars, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Now, as far as Symbolic Motors, I'm sure they had people or technicians that was doing their cars, but then probably they weren't doing as much of a good job. So Mike ended up landing that account, and then they were like calling Mike to do their cars. And it's an exclusive thing that you can't just go in there and say, "Hey, I'm going to do your dance," because obviously they're dealing with what, $1 million cars or $500,000 cars. So they're not just
Mhm.
gonna like let
Not gonna
anybody.
let anybody inside there. Yeah.
Exactly,
Right.
Hmm.
exactly. So they trusted us, and Mike was serving their lot, and that's how I got familiarized with some of these most expensive cars too. The one that's like a
Mm.
million, or Bugatti, or Lamborghini. Actually, is not the most expensive one. It's like
Yeah.
McLaren. The fastest one is McLaren, and then there's a Bugatti, who's, I think, it's the most
Yeah.
expensive. I don't know. I could be wrong, but yeah, that was the Lamborghini was our friend's car, one of the doctor.
Mhm.
And
Sweet.
but Mike talks about when he used to work at Symbolic, the mechanic at Symbolic used to curse all the time about the Lamborghini. So I'm gonna tell Mike the next time he does his podcast, he needs to do an impersonation of this mechanic. Because it sounded, the mechanic, when he talks and when he's pissed, he sounded like Arnold Schwarzenegger,
Mm.
Sweet.
down this Lamborghini. So I
Mhm.
can't do it. Mike can do it. I mean, he does good with impersonation.
I'm gonna
So
mention it on his
Mhm.
next live podcast. He'd be like, "Do the impression. Come on."
yes, yeah, do that. So that one worked out, because also even in our shop, anyone who comes in and they see the Lamborghini or the high end cars, obviously everyone takes care of their baby, right? Which is
Yeah.
their cars. Yeah.
Right.
So they're like, oh, okay, I trust that you'll do good. It's the fact that Mike, let's say Mike was on that picture,
Hmm.
Mhm.
then kind of like gives him more like a
Social
credential that he
proof.
can do it.
Social proof.
Yeah,
Social
that he
proof.
can do
There
it.
it is, right there.
Hopefully, if you
Because
accept a
if
job like that,
somebody's
you
going to
know how to
trust
do it.
you,
Yeah,
if someone's going to trust you to work on their higher end vehicle, then they're going to trust you to work on their vehicle. So
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
yeah. Some
social
of them,
proof.
yeah, or some of them, I've
Definitely.
gotten a customer like really, really worried about their cars. They said, "Hey, have you ever
Mhm.
worked on a Mercedes before?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, well, this is my baby. I don't want my paint crack. I don't want this."
Mhm.
And I was like,
Mhm.
"Oh yeah, we
Mhm.
used to work for Symbolics." So as soon as I dropped that name, they're like, "Okay, I trust you," because
Yeah.
you know in my area, everyone knows who is Symbolic Motors.
Are you going to have a Google My Business expert on there at all, Mary? Or are you going to try to
Mike,
find it?
we have we have Mike Toledo as Google My Expert.
Yeah.
Google
Okay. Google
Business
My
as my
Business.
expert.
Okay. Okay. Good.
Yeah, he that's his expertise, and he's going to be talking about that too. And I think he talked
Okay.
about
Good.
it too on some of the episodes he did, as far as his podcast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
we're gonna we're
Yeah.
gonna we're gonna cover that. We're gonna cover a lot. I mean, I think for some people it might be overwhelming, but you know what?
I
It's
can't wait.
it
Yeah.
it's I mean, if you apply it, if and follow the
Yeah.
recipe, I think that's what you did, Dino, right? And so it's
Yeah.
called Fox. The
Yeah. It's
foxes.
it's a lot. I mean, and then everything is constantly being updated and changing, so you
Mm-hmm.
kind of have to, be on it. That's the key.
Mm-hmm.
That's yeah, definitely that's the key because everything is constantly changing all the time. So you have to keep changing too. You know. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're also
I,
gonna talk about CRM.
I say,
And
Mm.
speaking of CRM, my CRM system just updated and completely changed everything while I was gone at MTE. So,
what?
Wow.
yeah, yeah. So I had I'm in the process of creating some stuff around it, a video course related to it,
Uh-huh.
and now I have to go back and re-record every single thing that I talked about because it's all the layouts
Yeah.
completely changed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Wow.
yep,
I don't know
in a
too much
week.
about CRMs. So what exactly is a CRM?
It's I think it stands for client relationship CRM management. So
Okay.
it's like nurturing your client, but I mean, when I looked at CRM, because there's so many out there, right?
Mm.
I look at what's the highest standard. The only reason is because that's just my mindset. I don't want to be just average. I don't want to just be dealing with something like average. I want something
Mm.
that's like going to set me apart from everyone.
Mm.
So we're gonna talk about that. We're also gonna have a chat bot. Even our chat bot is totally different. There's one that's actually tied into our social media. So you're not doing social media separately here, and then a chat bot. All of this stuff is all tied in. So we offer two different ones, and then we're also gonna do the review. I think it's the review app. So if you go to our websites, you can see it. It's like a rotating reviews that we have. You know, on our I think it
Nice.
was either Yelp or Google that it shows up on our website, also on our I
So
don't think my,
when somebody posts on those platforms, Google or someone, it automatically uploads to your website. You don't have to go in and update it or anything.
pardon, say it
That's not.
again.
So like if somebody leaves a Google review, it automatically gets posted on your website. Is that what you're
Hmm.
saying? Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a rotating reviews,
Yep.
from new to old and back and forth, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Speaking of marketing and stuff, I do want to share a story.
uh-huh.
Um, maybe about 6 months ago, this guy calls me and he says, "Hey, I have a Hellcat with a
Sweet.
dent on it." Yeah, and it was really done up,
Hmm.
And he calls me. He says, "Hey, I got this YouTube channel," and
Don't
he
tell me
says,
it's our YouTube.
"No, no,
You
no.
know?
Oh,
He
Oh,
it's
had
that.
his own.
Oh,
He
that's what I
had
was
his
thinking too.
oh,
he
okay.
he had his own YouTube channel, and he says to me,
Oh.
I got about 50,000 subscribers, and
Hmm.
he says, hey, I'll make a video of you if you want to fix the dent, and it was maybe the size of a nickel. Okay, it wasn't
Hmm.
it
Hmm.
wasn't that big, but I still didn't want to do it. So I
Why?
said, no, listen. So I said, no, you know what? No, I need money. I don't need this marketing stuff. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, all right, so we hung up the phone, and I'm sitting there, and something inside me told me, call him back and do it. So I called
Hmm.
him right back, and his name is Stunner Reese. But I decided to come to his house, in my van, and then I ended up, he got the camera out. Soon as I pulled up, did this whole video on me, and then he tells his subscribers to look out for me and go to my Google My Business and do, give some reviews. I got about
Sweet.
almost 100 reviews just on that one.
That's why I
Wow.
Yes,
said networking.
they
That's
were
networking.
Uh-huh.
yes, influencers. I mean, it was
Uh-huh.
pouring in like nonstop. And I was telling my
Awesome.
wife, I'm like, oh my God, I'm glad I did it. That was worth way more than $150. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's the power of, influencers and getting with
Influencers.
yes,
Yes.
and getting with the right person that is going to, get you out there. Hey, what's up, Mike?
We're just talking
Hey,
about
Mike.
influencers and like Mike pop in here. Okay. Let's see. What's up, everyone? Okay. Yeah, that's why I said when you said that you turned it down, and then I'm glad that you changed your mind because
Yeah, something inside me
I was
told
like
me call him
networking.
back.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
Yeah.
plus that
because well, let me tell you what I did. I went and researched him as soon as I hung up. Is what I did, and
You
then I'm
see if
like,
he's
man, he does
legit.
have 50,000 subscribers, but so I'm like, yeah, let me call him back. Yeah, so it all
So
worked out though.
so you're telling me that you wanted to make sure that he's a legitimately
Yes, I always
okay,
try to
okay.
research people and try. I mean,
Good.
of course, you definitely want to research yourself and find out because a lot of people can tell you all kinds of stuff, and
yeah.
I'm in the habit
Exactly.
of not believing everybody, until I find out and research myself.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
You can
yeah.
also do a background check. Just kidding.
But that's something important to do is to find influencers in your local community to get your name out there. So yeah, it
Well,
worked out
you
for
know
me.
what? You lucked out because usually
Yeah.
influencers usually demand like either monetary,
Yes. Yes.
exchange and usually they're not cheap. So
Yes.
it's a good thing that he's like, hey, can you just take this stuff out for me and I'll video you? Yeah. So he was
And
being nice.
yes, and I
Man,
forgot to say, I got about 5 jobs out of that too.
There you go.
even
Because they
better.
mentioned they mentioned him and said, "Hey, I saw your video." Blah, and I'm like, I was in Chicago, and I'm like, "Really?" And they're like, "Yeah, I saw your video." I'm like, "Wow, okay." So it works. You just have to put in
Uh-huh.
the work, basically. You
Yeah.
know, yeah,
Man,
Yeah.
I've even
No.
had some cars that I price a little more on the better side because I want to do the car for the content of the
yes,
vehicle. Like, you know what I
yes,
mean? Like
yes,
just I want the footage of me fixing that car, working on the car, pictures
yes.
of the car in the shop, all that kind of stuff,
Right,
just to have that
yes,
kind of stuff. So,
yes.
and
That
the
makes
nice thing
sense.
about
Yeah.
you getting all those reviews is that if those people are on YouTube, they probably got a they probably do very well on Google My Business, I would imagine. So it's
Mhm,
not like a onesie twosie person left a review. It's like a person with the full Google My Business
mhm,
profile. They've got,
mhm.
hundreds of reviews. So it's
Yes,
just more social proof. It's not just
yes,
one guy that came on, left one review, and then never got
yes.
on Google My Business again. So,
Exactly. Yeah. But
Yeah.
it all worked out. So it's just something to
Yeah.
think about.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if you know, Mike is talking about showing his app, the app that he
Hmm.
uses for his video and his photos, why
Okay.
it's so unique. It's not just the apps that you use, it's also the way you do it. So he's going to show the
Hmm.
process. Because I
Okay.
told him, you got to show the process because if you have an app, but if you're just taking like a boring video or a boring, you know what I
Hmm.
mean, photos, then it doesn't serve its purpose. So
yeah.
Yeah.
he was going to show you guys the process of how that thing's done.
I started playing
Awesome.
around with some
Awesome.
of the apps he mentioned at the seminars, and yeah, those were very, very good. Like, it's a whole other like thing you got to learn and play with, but very, very, very cool.
It'll keep you busy, Jack.
Oh
Luckily,
yeah.
you're
Yes.
single, right?
I was sitting there editing a video while we were all going out to dinner. I think it was yeah, it would have been the night we were going to Rocco's Tacos after the 20 meeting, and one of the other guys next to me is like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm playing with that new app, man. Like, check this out, it's sweet." And he's like, "Dude, really?" And I'm like, "What? I want to play with it. What? I can't help it."
Yeah, it's kind of addicting because that's what
Oh, it
happened
is
with my
totally
husband.
addicting.
He's like, "Oh, I found out how to do this." I'm like, "Oh, okay. You worry about that. I'm gonna worry about the other part of the business." Yeah,
Why
because
was it? Yeah,
oh, go
sorry.
ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah, I
No,
was
go
gonna say
ahead.
the one app where it's a video and it's a scrolling video and you can
Oh
like I
yeah.
just was playing around with that. Was that last night? No, the night before. And I was
Uh-huh.
just like, oh my god, this is like that's how he did. I'm like thinking, I'm watching it.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there playing with it. And I'm like, that's how Toledo did it. Oh, right. I'm going to do this. And then I go to edit one together and I'm like, man, this doesn't look anywhere near as cool as Mike's video.
Doesn't look as
I'm like,
clean, right?
I got some stuff to learn. So
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like you get excited. You're like, yeah, I can do this. I got the app now. And then when you're in the process, you're like, I'm lost.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was telling Mary. That's why I invested in a new camera and got a new computer coming and stuff because, I want it to be more professional looking and clean and the resolution and definitely. It makes a
Hey, you're
difference.
moving
I can
up.
relate to that.
Dino.
Yeah.
You're moving up. You're actually like changing your technology there. Maybe an iPhone and you were iPhone and then your computer.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was talking to somebody about this today about the Apple products.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole story about the Apple products back in the 80s when I took computer class, because I think you have, in my school, you have to graduate high school. And so back then they have the old school Apple computer that's so boring and it's just like a big box looking. So my computer teacher said, computer is really not smart. It's the programmer that's smart, because computer doesn't have brain to think, doesn't have emotion. It's the people that's making it, like that. So from then on, I was like, oh, well, when Steve Jobs came out with the newer and rebranded Apple products, the tagline was user friendly. Right there, I was sold. Because when they say user friendly, I'm like, oh, okay. Well, computer is so complicated already to understand and to even, technology, right? But to make it user friendly and to make it like more visual, with nice little icon or pictures or whatever that is, then that makes it even more interesting. So anyway, so you're moving up now, huh?
Yeah, definitely. I do want to know what that app is though with the video. And it's not like really anything new, but it's just different. It's like instead of you seeing and it's like that's what entices the eye. Like, man, how is he doing that? And it just makes you like want to be just stuck on the video,
Mike said, I'm starving the family. Well, Dad, hold down the fort. Mom is working.
Yeah, Mike's gonna be like, all right, cereal for everyone.
Mike, get your apron on, dude. Get out there.
Yes. Actually, he'll be just like peanut butter and jelly, because he always says, I grew up on peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, if I did it, you kids can do it too.
When I seen the videos of MTE, you guys were eating like kings and queens out there.
Oh yeah.
The steak, had steak and lobster, and the steak was bigger than you, Mary. I'm like, how's she gonna eat all that?
It's so good.
It was so good. But also when we saw the bill, I was like, wait a minute. I was speechless. I was
like,
I
give
was
it to
like,
Big Baller Mike. Big Baller Mike
I
got
was like
this.
speechless. And then there was like the guys, and then the guy said, let me see it. I'm like, wait, hold on, how do we do this? And then later on I said, here, look at it. But I figured out how we're gonna do
like hot
to make it fair for
that
everyone.
thing was just flying everywhere.
Yeah, it was good though. It was a good. You know what? It's the experience and the company. It was good company. We had fun, wasn't it, Jack?
Oh, it was a blast. Yeah, it was so much fun.
And
Nonstop
definitely
laughing.
Be there next year.
Food, yeah.
Yeah, and you know what else is the blast? Here comes Jack. Hey, we're gonna do the tool review podcast. Okay, the Drunken Tool Review podcast. So he's trying to gather everyone. Finally, when we got there,
it's like me and Glidewell were kind of on the fence about it, and I'm like, dude, and John Vadine as well, and I was like, they were kind of, and I'm like, dude, if we don't do it, or we all kind of just fed off each other, and we're like, let's just do it, screw it, like whatever, and then it had Gator arms.
When the bill came. Wow. They were calling Jack.
That's my cousin.
That's your cousin?
Yeah, that's my cousin Johnny. Yep.
Okay.
Somebody said they were calling you T-Rex.
So when I got there, I was expecting like, okay, so these guys have their tools, right, to review. Well, there was no tools. Luckily, the only one that brought something. Was Who was it?
Stephen Hamby.
Then a grip. First, it was
Yep.
the
Yep.
umbrella.
Well, yeah, with Yep, Matt brought his
Matt.
umbrellas, and then Stephen Hamby showed up with his tools, and then I'll let you finish it out. So
And then when I mean, as a quick, I'm a quick thinker, so I was like, you guys are starting, but there's no tools. Well, people are listening, so I'm like, Matt, bring your umbrella over here. So he goes over there. He did his sales pitch. By the way, guys, da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, oh, okay, that's good. Then after that, luckily, Steven came down, and he had to go upstairs to get his tools.
yeah.
Then John Vidin, I didn't see that. He threw one of the tools, I guess, or something. Luckily, it didn't break, right? He was having so much fun, and he was like, I would say, faded. And,
Yes. Yeah.
when you say faded in a younger generation, that means it's good. So he was so faded, it's just like, no, I don't like this because it reminds
Everybody
me of
was having a
bad
good
memories.
time.
That's good. That's good. That's
Yeah.
what it's about.
Oh my gosh.
It
It was like,
hilarious.
yeah, you got to come next time, Dino.
He said Jack was balling.
Yeah,
was so
Jack
much
was
fun.
balling. So it was, well, you know what, Jack? Thanks for inviting us because
Absolutely. Yep.
Mike said, hey, Jack invited us. I said, oh, okay. So I thought it was an exclusive thing because then Mike invited someone, so, or some, people. So I was like, oh,
Yep.
okay. Then the crowd
Yeah,
got
the
bigger
more the
and
merrier.
bigger.
Like I made that comment before we even went. I'm like, man, if I could just invite everybody and we'd all, but you can't get a table for a couple thousand dent guys. So
Jack Rex.
Yeah.
So Dino, are we gonna see you? Are we gonna see you in Texas?
Lord willing. Yeah.
Huh?
Lord
Cool.
willing. Yes, for
Okay,
sure.
cool.
Yeah, I
Cool.
definitely want to do that. That Tesla, was it IMI?
IMI. Yep.
Oh, you haven't done it yet?
Yeah,
Oh, you'll
no.
learn a lot.
I
man.
was gonna
It's a
do
good
it when
class.
I believe Matt Moore had it in the East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just too late for me to catch a flight and stuff. So but I knew it'd come up again somewhere because
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna
Well,
try to
since-
make it out to Texas. I'm gonna see if me and my wife can come out there, and maybe we might end up doing something else after that too, because we like to keep traveling, and stuff. So we'll get into something.
Oh, good,
Yeah.
good. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll go out there.
Okay.
Like I've been to that area so many times that I know where to go. But I'm not gonna lead.
Okay.
Probably, somebody from Anson's going to lead because they know the ins and out of that place.
Right.
Anyway,
Okay.
we actually bought a piece of land at Horseshoe Bay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, here's Toledo. He's
Oh,
knocking.
good.
Yeah, he's
Dad,
going.
are
Come
you
on,
in
we're
there?"
hungry.
Peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah,
Right.
right. He's gonna bring you a sandwich.
Right. He's knocking on the door.
Okay, well that's exciting. I'm glad.
Next time
And-
he's having his podcast, Mary, you go knocking on his door too. All right.
Yeah, right.
yeah. Well, we've been like about what? Almost an hour and a half. So
Yeah,
anybody wants to add more? How about you, Dino? Nobody knows in our industry that you do a podcast with your wife. You want to tell us
Yeah.
about it?
Yeah, it's called Live Beyond with Dino and Nikki Salas. It's a relationship podcast. We're because both of us been actually in some toxic relationships, and we overcame all that, and we just kind of share insight on what we've learned and how to work together, and just kind of deal. And even when we do get mad at each other, how we deal with it. Just all kinds of tips and stuff. So it's and it's something for me and my wife to do together. That's really the important thing. Yeah. And at the same time, we're talking about relationships. We're actually talking about ourselves and helping ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But you know what I like about it, Dino, is that you actually have knowledge in that department. You know what I mean? I mean, I can see it because when I talk to you, I can see that you have wisdom to share as far as relationship wise, because you've been there, done that, right?
Yeah, been there, done that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And really stuff is really patternistic. You can, once it's happened to you, you can see that it's familiar, when it's happening in someone else's life too. And you can kind of call it out, sometimes with people and kind of just, help them out,
Yeah. Yeah. And also the fact that, what I like about you is that you realize that, hey, this is a toxic relationship. I need
Yeah.
to now be conscious. I
Yeah.
think the key word is like being conscious, making decision consciously and
Yeah.
rather than subconscious. So that way you can like, I guess the way I would describe it is that you can be more, live life to the fullest, or
Yes.
you're
Yes.
moving in the right direction.
Yeah, because it all pours into your business too. If you're not,
Mhm.
if your relationship isn't good, you're gonna have problems in your business because the mental aspect of who you are is not at peace. So you're not thinking about your business, and it's just you
Yeah.
gotta have
Yeah.
peace in your life. And that's why most. And I know, Jack, you're single, right?
Yep.
Are you single, Jack, or no? Yeah,
He's,
Yep.
he's
so
single and ready to mingle.
and I know when I was single, because I was single for quite a
Uh-oh,
while
you're getting
too.
kidnapped.
Hey,
Jack
Mike, how
is
you
single
doing?
and ready
No
to
pressure.
mingle.
I'm going to crash
right.
your podcast.
Hey, Mike, I do want to get with you and see if we can revamp my website, if that's
Sure.
okay. Yeah,
Are we hosting your
I'll
site or are you someone else
Yeah,
hosting?
yeah, we are.
Okay. I got you.
yeah,
Got
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll call you. I'll set
And
up an
and if you
appointment with you.
and if you need relationship advice,
Mm-hmm.
Don't ask me.
I was gonna say ask the player,
Yeah, Mike is
and
a
the
player. You
power
already
player.
know.
You'll get a divorce, you know.
I could tell Mike. I could tell Mike got game. He can spit. I could tell he got game.
No, I'm talking more like to Jack here.
Uh,
He used to have a lot of us slogan, like don't hate the game. I mean, don't hate the
Don't hate the
player, hate
player,
the
hate
game.
the game.
Yeah.
You
Right.
don't know.
Yep.
You know,
I'm like, yeah, right. I have better game than you.
knows what's cracking.
Uh,
So
Mike's trying to
anyways,
get something to eat or what?
I'm trying to go get some sushi. I know this girl wants to go get some
Ooh.
sushi.
Oh, we just
We're
had
gonna
some
have
the other
sushi.
day.
Yeah.
We just
Yeah.
had some the
So
other
when
day.
you
It
go
was
to
good.
so for Mega Media, we're gonna
Mhm.
go and eat. So work your butt off and save money because we're
Okay.
gonna go out.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Who's this?
That's
Oh,
his dad. I think.
he's
Is that
No,
your-
that's my cousin. My cousin also has the name John
look
Bucknell.
how
Look at
player
player.
be dumb
Nope.
and make it's
69,
it's
69.
only
He's
for 10.
calling you out, dude.
It's such a oh, we didn't
You
know
weren't
about
supposed to
this.
share that with
There's
anybody.
there's something we don't know.
Lonnie.
Lonnie's here too. Oh, so I didn't know anything about Jack. Now I'm gonna do a background check. Just kidding, Jack. I'm
Do
just
it.
kidding. I'm just kidding. But anyway, so let's end this here. Anyone wants to add or
No, I just look
Anymore?
forward to the Mega Media Event
Mega Media?
5.0 and
Cool.
Yeah.
check it
It's
out.
gonna
Can't
be
wait.
online. Yeah.
Yeah. Appreciate you guys
Cool.
having me on the show again. Thank you.
Yes.
Oh,
Jack is all cool hanging out with you, man. That's
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Yeah, it was good. It's good seeing all you guys. Yep.
All right.
You
Yeah.
too, Jack.
can't wait until Mega Media. We're gonna party hard
yeah.
again.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
After.
in.
We're gonna
Yeah,
stay up
after.
until
There you go.
12 a.m. No, not 12 a.m. 12 p.m.
Hey,
A day and a half.
it's AM.
No, it's p.m.
No, you don't want to stay up till 12 p.m. That's noon. That's lunchtime.
Exactly. That's how we
Yeah, I
used to
think
party.
that's what she's
Dad.
meaning.
That's how we used to party.
Anyway.
From nighttime to 12 p.m.
We can't tell them that, man. We didn't do any of that stuff.
Yeah,
Take
never.
that stuff.
We're an
Never.
angel.
Okay.
We all went to bed at 10:30. No big deal.
Right.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot, guys. We're ending it here. Until next
Absolutely.
time, here at Mary Unapologetic and my co-host Jack, special guest Dino Salas. Thank you.
And Mike Toledo.
Oh, crashing my
I
podcast.
crashed the podcast. You guys.
All right, guys, take care.
Have a good night,
Be
guys.
safe.
Guys.
See ya.
Bye.
Yeah.